Dad desperately prays for son born without heartbeat until miracle baby comes home for Christmas. A couple got their Christmas miracle after their little boy, born without a heartbeat, was revived and given a shot at life. Although born dead, the little boy is now in the comfort of his own home with the rest of his family after a miracle saw his heart beating after a few minutes.
But before we start, please take a moment to give this video a like, subscribe to Happy World, and hit the bell so you'll never miss these great stories.
After years of praying for another child, a couple finally got their miracle when they fell pregnant. The ordeal was surreal to Diana and Lee Mork, who had been praying and longing for another child for almost a decade. The couple shares a daughter named Abby, whom they welcomed in 2011. After Abby's birth, they went through 5 years of fertility treatments and tried all means possible to get pregnant again. A miracle pregnancy. Despite all their efforts, they couldn't get pregnant until one day. "I didn't believe it at first," Diana said. "It was just so out of the blue." Pregnant with their miracle child, Diana religiously went through all her routine checkups and ultrasounds. They all showed that their baby was normal and healthy, and they even discovered their little one's gender. They were having a boy, and they couldn't be happier. But in spite of all the assurance that their baby was growing fine in his wife's womb, something kept Lee worried. Although he couldn't pinpoint what it was, he felt something wrong was coming. Her challenging labor experience. By 40 weeks, Diana still showed no signs of labor, so she decided to head to the hospital. Her doctors induced her, seeing that their baby was too large and needed to be delivered as soon as possible. Even before Diana was induced, Lee kept telling his wife that he had a feeling something was going to happen. However, Diana kept assuring her husband that everything would be all right. When she was induced, however, her husband turned out to be correct. After 4 hours of labor, Diana still wouldn't dilate despite being in excruciating pain. After her blood pressure dropped, the doctors decided to do an emergency C-section to save her and the baby. Through it all, Diana wondered if she could ever make it through the painful experience and if her baby was all right. Saving both mother and child. Lee was just as worried as Diana was. However, he wasn't worried about their son Jack at the time, as somehow he knew he'd be all right. He was worried about Diana. "I was very worried that I was about to lose my wife," he admitted. While doctors and nurses rushed to save both Diana and Jack, Lee was waiting outside the operating room praying. He cried out to God, praying that his wife and son would survive. After a while, it was revealed that while Diana made it out of surgery, their son Jack did not. He was born without a beating heart and was unresponsive. Jack's miraculous rebirth. Not willing to give up, the doctors transported Jack to a neonatal intensive care unit of a nearby hospital to try and save him. Diana only got to rub the back of her son's tiny hand before they swiftly took him away. Lee also wanted to say goodbye to his son, so he went into the room. He cried out his son's name, and he recalls the little boy turned to look at him. "I knew he was going to be okay right there," he said of the encounter. Doctors did everything they could at the nearby hospital to try and save Jack. However, they asked Diana and Lee not to get their hopes up. The truth of his survival. Even though Jack could survive, doctors said he could grow up with brain damage, cerebral palsy, or developmental problems. At 2 weeks, Jack was breathing, but he was unresponsive and wasn't eating. At that point, Diana was concerned about the kind of life her son was going to live. Meanwhile, for Lee, it was a test of faith. Through it all, Diana and Lee kept praying for God to heal their son. After spending Thanksgiving at the hospital, the couple hoped they could bring their son home by Christmas. Hoping for a Christmas homecoming? While Jack was improving, doctors wanted to ensure they resolved all issues before he was discharged. However, by Christmas Eve, they decided it was time for Jack to go home finally. The overwhelmed parents shared their unexpected gift on social media for their friends and family to see. They said, "We got our Christmas miracle. God is so good. Thank you so much to everyone who has joined us in praying that Jack would be home before Christmas. A true miracle baby." In their post, Diana and Lee also wrote how surprised the doctors were with the amount of development Jack made in the days leading to Christmas. In fact, after a meeting with Jack's neurologist, he shared that Jack was meeting every developmental milestone for his age. Diana and Lee, in their faithfulness, had a true miracle baby. With their little one at home with them, it would be difficult for anyone to believe that he had been revived at birth and had been dead for 2-3 minutes.